Welcome. My name is David L. Cohen, and I am Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer for Comcast, NBC Universal, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here tonight on behalf of the entire Comcast, NBC Universal family, and in particular, Focus Features. I want to welcome you here and thank you for joining us in advance of tomorrow night's opening of Focus Features movie Race. I've had the privilege of seeing this film, pieces of it multiple times, and without giving too much away, I can tell you it's an inspiring film about courage, determination, tolerance, and friendship. And of course, all of this is told through the story of the remarkable Jesse Owens and his journey to become the greatest track and field athlete in history. I can't think of a more timely film during Black History Month, and as we begin to ramp up for the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio, which of course will be brought to you on NBC. Tonight, we're lucky enough to have Jesse Owens' granddaughter, one of his granddaughters, Gina Strachan, in the house, and I want to give her a special welcome and offer her a special thanks for being here with us. Gina?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and thank you all of you for coming tonight. I'm confident that you are in for a treat. This film is very true and authentic to my grandfather and his experience in the 1936 Olympic Games and leading up to the 36 Olympic Games. People have asked me often, is it true? Is it a true story? And how involved were you? And fortunately, my family was very, very involved. They actually came and presented us with the script, and there have been several revisions before you get to this, to be sure that it does provide you a real authentic story. And so my family, my mom, who is in the movie, and her sisters traveled to Berlin during the taping or the filming of the movie. Were very involved in the process. Spent a lot of time with that amazing young man star up there, Stephan James, who is certainly a name that you may not have heard of, but is about to be heard of. He's absolutely incredible. So I think my takeaway and the family's takeaway from this film is we really want to, I think what you'll come away with is all about possibility and how anything is possible through adversity, through backlash, through all kinds of obstacles. Anything is possible. And in this movie, you will see that my grandfather certainly experienced a lot of different things. It represents some of his challenges, not just physically, but also within his own community, but also the global tension of the Nazi Olympics. And through all of this pressure, unbelievable pressure, he stood into the power of who he is and stood in his own power and really just kind of like stepped outside of that bubble that oftentimes we find ourselves in and really stepped into the possibility of how he could touch, move, and inspire a nation. And I think that is what I came away with. I've seen it 3 times now, and each time I see something different, and I learned a lot. There were things I didn't know about leading up to the Olympics, and so it really was quite an inspirational story.
Through the miracles of modern technology, we're able to have him join us live through Skype to say a few words. He was recently named a Rising Star in the 2015 Toronto International Film Festival. Many of you may recognize that handsome face from his role as civil rights activist John Lewis in the 2014 film Selma. So So Stephan, it's great for me to be able to see you again. Welcome to Philadelphia via technology, and we can see you clearly. Love to have you say a few words to the audience.
Hey everybody. Sorry I can't be there with you guys. Feeling a little bit under the weather. But thank you all for coming. This means a lot to me. You know, my whole journey in playing Jesse and being able to bring his story back to life almost 80 years later has been incredible, and it's been very, very rewarding for me. I'm so excited to be able to teach people about, you know, what he has done 80 years later, because, you know, I'm very aware that some of you may not know the full story. So hopefully you learned something here tonight. Hopefully you enjoy the film, and if you do, please tell your family, tell your friends, go on social media, tweet about it. It comes out everywhere tomorrow, and we would love your support. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Comcast and NBC Universal for putting together this great event and for all their support. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy the film.
Stephan, thank you. One more second, Stephan, before you let you get back to bed. As I said, I had a chance to meet Stephan in Washington, and at our Washington screening, present at that screening was Congressman John Lewis, who obviously had met Stephan before. And so this is one of the great rising stars in American film today. A young actor, as I said, just recognized at the Toronto Film Festival, but imagine his first two major roles, playing John Lewis and Jesse Owens. And so I asked him privately, where do you go from here? Who is next? I won't tell you what he said. But Stephan, thank you. It's just a pleasure to have you here again. And good luck with this film for all of us, and really appreciate your presence and your star quality in this film as well. So have a great night and feel better.
You guys.